Live from the WGBS studios. Get your cup of coffee or get your shot of whiskey. It's time for Coffee Chat with Sam and Janet. Good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. I sound like I got a little bit of bass in my voice, huh?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think it's the allergies. Who knows? This weather has been affecting me in not the best way for a few days now.
Yeah, it looks like fall has fallen upon us. Or it's trying to, at least. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, it is warm in here, right?
Well, for me, it might be warm for you, but for me, I just washed my hair before coming on. I don't like to do it in the evening, and I was feeling under the weather most of the weekend, so I like doing it during the day because I let it air dry. And so I did that this morning. I'm just making sure that I don't have any leave-in conditioner or anything like that falling on my forehead.
All right. Well, I'm just warm because I'm drinking this hot cup of coffee, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Sam G and
Janet Campbell Gisyer.
Your whole government name.
Our whole government name. That's what we do.
Hopefully you guys, everyone had a great weekend. We didn't do much. I don't think we did too much work either over the weekend.
We didn't. We did not. I worked on a couple of things, prepping some products to put in a shop. And so I'm doing some compact mirrors. And this one right here, if you guys can see it, if anybody can see it, I made this for myself like 6 years ago. And, of course, once I made it for myself and everybody that I knew was looking at it, they saw it, they wanted one. And so it's a double-sided mirror. Yeah, it's a double-sided mirror. And I have crystals and embellishments, and it goes in my purse. I handles it, because a lot of people are scared to handle their rhinestone or crystallized items because they think it might fall apart. But I handles all my stuff because that's how I know that I'm giving people the best quality that I can. So that's what I've been doing. I'm working on a couple of tumblers for, to go in the shop as well. So I have a question for ladies.
Ladies,
I got some combos going on, but I have a question for the ladies.
Okay.
I am huge on, being organized. Even in my disarray, I have organizations, and it's really easier for me to even though I'm a creative and I completely mess things up, but if I know where things go, it's the cleanup is much easier. But I take that even into the organization of my purse. So currently I am using a crossbody, right? I have several purses, but currently I'm using a crossbody. And I'm a girl who loves pockets. So, but I don't just throw things in my purse. My purse has purses or pouches within the purse. That is so that I know what each thing is and what's in each purse. So for my crossbody, I don't really carry a whole lot in it because it ends up messing with my shoulders. So I'll have some lotion in there, which I have. I have an extra charger in there. You know, I have a mask just in case somebody says I have to mask up. And then I have this particular wallet that, of course, holds my money and my cards in, right? But in my bigger bags, I'll just take that out, put it in the bigger bag, and then I'll add other things, the things that I could just carry, the bags that you just carry on your arm. I have other bags that go in there, and some, you know, my compact mirror is in there. I have lip gloss. You know, I have things that I need. I know that I need eye drops, you know, stuff like that. I'm not a huge makeup person, but I have one for that. I have one for like whatever medications that I need to pack with me, BC powder, you know, allergy meds, some Mucinex sometimes, so that if things happen, I know exactly where to go and get that. I'm not digging all over, you know, in my purse. So I was just curious as to how you ladies how you ladies organize your bags, if you organize them or if you just dig around looking for your stuff.
Well, I know this to the ladies, but let me put my 2 cents in. Agree with this person right here. Yeah, that's a lot going on, babe.
You know, you might think so, but it's made my life a whole lot easier. And
It
even in my
works for you.
tote bags, it works for me. I
Mhm.
made myself a purse organizer in my tote bags because one thing that I absolutely hate, I hate searching for my stuff. You know, it takes too long. Let me tell you, I even swear by, where is it? You see this thing right here? I swear by these here little purse hooks because I can hook it on the side of whatever bag that I'm carrying. And once I zip my purse up, it's right there. And I don't have to, I'm not that girl who's going to be looking all over the place for her keys unless I accidentally drop them in my purse, which I try not to. And y'all also see my sunglasses. I have this thing hooked to the side of my purse for my sunglasses. It just makes my life easier. That's it.
So
That's all.
I guess you want some feedback on that. I guess.
Yeah, I do. Whenever they want to, I see somebody, you know, you're not the only person that think I do too much. Sam says I do too much
That's
too,
too
but my
much.
stuff ain't all over the place though.
Hey, it works for you. That's all that matters. It works for you.
It works.
Okay. Well, it's still early for a lot of people, and maybe you'll get some comments on that going forward.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe not. What are we talking about today?
Well,
What's one of the topics we're gonna discuss?
well, we did come across something interesting this morning. Um, before, I think that before we come across that, I want to tell a little story. So while I find the story,
You
do
want
you
to tell a
mind?
little story?
I want to tell a story. I got to find the story first, though.
While you're doing that, I'll do a little bit of shameless self promotion.
Okay.
I want to let you guys know that. Oh, there's a response. Hold on a second. What's PPL purses? See, this is over my head. I don't know what a PPL purse is.
So what do you put in your purse? Do you organize? The question is, do you organize your purses? And if so, the contents in your purses. And if so, how? Well, one of the things that I wanted to, before I tell the story, is we were talking the other day about people leaving the state, leaving New York or northern states, but they did include California, and moving to like southern states because of the cost of living or whatever, right? And so we are currently in North Carolina.
North Kakalaki.
So I found this this to be real interesting. This thing that says, it talks about how far your dollars go, or what your tax is. So this says, what $100,000 salary, how far will $100,000 salary go in the state of North Carolina? So you have your gross income of $100,000. Federal tax is $14,768. Your state tax is $4,441. Social Security $6,200. Medicare $1,450. Your total tax in North Carolina is $26,859. So your net income is $73,141, which means that you have a tax rate of 26.9% for the state of North Carolina.
It's not bad.
Okay? That's not bad. That's really not bad. As opposed to now the numbers, I just lost it. The numbers are very, very different, in places like New York. They did a calculation based on $1 million in the state of, in New York City specifically, not the state, but in New York City, $1 million. And you ended up having your tax rate almost 50%. So $1 million in New York City only netted you like right at 500,000 for the year, which I found to be really, really interesting. So I think that if people are considering relocating, then that's probably something that you want to be aware of what your tax rate is going to be for the particular place that you're moving. Your income ratio and tax ratio will be, so you'll know if you can really afford to make that move or not.
Okay.
So if y'all want to know, if I come across it again and y'all want to know what about your state, or you're thinking about moving, I'll try to pull it up and find out what it says about you. But here's my story. A man was getting a haircut prior to a trip to Rome. He mentioned the trip to his barber, who responded, "Why would anyone want to go there? It's crowded and dirty and full of Italians. So how are you getting there?" "We're taking United." And he said, "United Airlines, it's a terrible airline. Their planes are old, their flight attendants are ugly, and they're always late." "So where are you staying?" We said, "The Downtown International Marriott." "That's a dump. That's the worst hotel in Rome. The rooms are small, the service is horrible." And so then he said, "And what are you going to do once you get there?" The man said, "We're going to the Vatican and hope to see the Pope." "That's rich," laughed the barber. "You and a million other people are trying to see him. He'll look like the size of an ant. Good luck, boy, on this lousy trip of yours. You're going to need it." Right? So you see all of that. Okay. Good morning, chick. So a month later, the man went back to get his haircut, and the barber asked him about his trip to Rome. "It was wonderful. Not only were we there on time in one of United's brand new planes, but it was overbooked and they bumped us up to first class. The food and wine was wonderful. I had a beautiful young stewardess that waited on me hand and foot. And the hotel, it was great. It just finished a $25 million remodeling job and it's now the finest hotel in the city. They were overbooked too. So they apologized and gave us the presidential suite at no cost. Well, the barber muttered, I know you didn't get to see the Pope. Actually, we were quite lucky. As we toured the Vatican, a guard tapped me on the shoulder and explained that the Pope likes to meet some of the visitors, and if I'd be so kind as to step into his private room and wait. 5 minutes later, the Pope walked in, and I knelt down. I knelt down, and he spoke to me. He said, "What did he say?" He said, "Where'd you get that shitty haircut?"
Here we
I
go.
thought that was a good story. What do you think about that, babe?
I
What,
mean, you got to be careful who you're listening to, because the barber was just whining, complaining, right?
and like trying to discourage you,
Uh-huh.
from doing something that this guy probably always wanted to do.
And that happens in life, right? So that's a funny story, but hey, it's reflective of what we deal with especially with people that are in our inner circle, right?
Right, right.
They're the
Especially
first
those
thing.
and people that are trying to be entrepreneurs may come across somebody as, I don't know why you want to do
Definitely.
that. Don't nobody make no money doing that. You need a real job.
Definitely. And that's the kicker right there. He probably even left his own city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we need to, you need those people. Those people are going to be in your lives, those haters. You know how they say, make your haters your motivators. But you also, more than that, depending on the type of personality that you have, you also need the people around you that are going to encourage you, that are going to encourage you and push you to be your best, whatever your best is, and offer some type of not only encouragement, but if they can, offer some type of assistance, like in brainstorming and stuff like that. So I found that even though that story was about a trip to see the Vatican, or to visit the Vatican and see the Pope, even though that's what the trip was about, going to Rome, that there were a lot of hidden gems in that message. There was a lot of hidden gems in that message. Hey, Indy.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that somebody like my niece could understand exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm sure they have gotten a ton of pushback on, just making a decision to homeschool their children, not to mention the other life decisions they've made for themselves.
Mhm.
So and I see that my best friend is on here. She must have recovered.
I mean, when you here's and I was up, Janet, I was up a little late last night, helping one of my trader. Well, we were chatting, having a good time, but I was helping one of my traders do some setups on some charts and stuff. And um, you got when you're doing something right based on your goals, how you feel about a thing, what you want to accomplish. eh, Remember, it's easy to ignore. It was kind of difficult, especially if it's your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your cousin, right? That
Hmm.
that that hits you a little bit different. But just stay true to you, right? Because if things go haywire, those people are going to keep saying what they're saying. But if it be successful, guess what happens? They're going to want to jump on that bandwagon with you, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
don't if you're convicted in that thing or those things or whatever you're trying to accomplish, stay convicted to it, because that means you've done some type of due diligence, you've done some homework, this is what you want to do. Don't let someone else sway you. And it reminded me of what I was some of the things I was talking about last night as far as trading, right? Once you got a good strategy in place, same thing. Other aspects of the market is going to kind of pull you over into the dark side and make you do something you shouldn't be doing because you're going
Hmm.
away from your strategy, right? And you end up, losing money, right? So I thought about that for a second. But for me, that's always worked. I remember a time, I told you the story, Janet, when I had my trucking company, and we were a small company. We had 2 big rigs, and we had, at that time, we didn't have any other drivers leased onto us. So I was in Rotary at the time, and I went to meet with a potential uh, um, business connection. So I'm telling him, I do my spiel and everything. He said, "Hey, sounds great. Want to bring you guys on." He asked me, okay, you're off to a good start with the company. What do you see yourself? The old typical, how do you see the company in 3 years, 5 years? I
Uh-huh.
thought, okay, here's somebody, that made me feel like he wanted to know, genuinely wanted to know. So I tell him a few things, right? And basically how this is business stuff, how I'm gonna grow the company, how some steps I want to take to get there, namely partnering with a bigger company such as yours. We got the contract, by the way, but the guy shoots it down. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing I'll never forget, he tells me is, I'm like, I'm looking at him like, and guys, but at that time, my filter wasn't as good as it is now. Really said what was on my mind, and I was like, got that Jack A label, but I was just telling people how I felt about things, right? I was just upfront. So he tells me, "Well, Samuel, you're in this negotiating meeting with me, and going forward, you really shouldn't be. If you're asking to partner with someone, you should be telling them about, you're gonna be doing all this other stuff, because it might make them feel like your business isn't solid, right?" It wasn't even a good month. I found out this guy had taken one of my ideas and
Mm-hmm.
implemented it in his company. So they was trying to shoot my stuff down, but at the same time, he was taking
But you
mental
took my
notes.
idea.
Yeah, to take the idea. So you just got to be careful. I mean, um, anyway, that reminded me of that.
Yeah. I think that, one of the lessons, like my mom, yes, my musical ability, a lot of it does come from my father, but my father's side, not my dad, because my dad couldn't sing a lick. Okay,
Uh-oh.
let's be clear. He was that, it's like if you look at the Campbells, like 99.9% of them are musically gifted. I'll say 98% are musically gifted, and then you have that other 2% that's not. And my father definitely fell into that particular category, but he had a ton of other gifts. When it came to singing, my mom was the singer too, but she told me this story, about her own father, right? When she was she used to go, they were raised on a farm, and she used to go in the backyard, and be singing and stuff like that, and he just really shot her down. So
Mm,
there's no telling, and she just, like, she stopped singing. There is no telling what she would have been, right? Had he just encouraged her,
mhm.
you know, encouraged the gift, to let that gift grow. So, which is why, when we see our children at whatever levels that they are, and doing things that are positive within their community, that we really have to encourage them. We have to encourage our business partners, you know our community, and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like you said, you can't, as that person, you can't give away, like, all your ideas, because people will steal your thoughts, they will steal your dreams, and they will steal your ideas. I watched that firsthand, and I watched it firsthand in my own family.
And the another point, another side to this, they can take your idea, but when you're talking in that vein, or when I'm talking in that vein, I'm never giving details, right? So
Hmm.
they might try and they start it, but it never works out because they don't know all the details. And hey, guys, what's for me is for me, and what's for them is for them. So everything isn't for everybody, right? Um, and that's actually what happened with the trucking business, Janet. I think they did that for maybe 6, 8 months, and it didn't fit their business model anyway, because they were too big to do that the way I kind of saw it happening. It was really for a small or just starting out trucking company to
Hmm.
do. And as you scaled up, it became, the economies of scale kind of dwarfed it. I mean, made it, non-profitable. But for a small trucking company like ours at the time, it was perfect. It would elevate the growth and all that kind of stuff. But Anyway, you want to go into this next thing, or you good? You want to keep?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's,
Let's move on. Well, guys, we were talking about, how I organize my purse, and I was asking the question, ladies, do you organize your purse? And if you do, how do you do it? Or do you just dump your stuff in your purse and dig around? And then we were talking about a story that I came across, a guy going to Rome, and his barber was really shooting down everything, everything that the man wanted to do. And, and how that story went, and the lessons that are applicable in all of our lives. And so, oh, Chick has a comment.
hold on a second. Let me add the guy version of that. So, guys, how do you carry a wallet or a billfold? Where's my thing at?
Babe, you're simply a minimalist.
I'm minimalist, so I'm gonna show you. Showed yours, so I'm gonna show mine. Make sure my cards are not. This is me. And if I had my choice, I probably wouldn't carry this thing. But it's the best thing I found for me. And look, time to get a new one, baby. Look at the corners. Hint, hint. So I'll put that out there for guys. And I got to get rid of some of these cards, actually. I have to carry out the cards because somebody got the same cards. But when we're out and about and paying for something, I got to pull out my cards and do it. So same question for guys. How do you guys keep that thing organized? And you can comment on it as we go. But okay, I'm sorry. Check.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
She got much time on her hand in the morning, man.
I remember Luther telling the story about how one of his teachers in high school told him he would never make it as a singer, let alone a successful career. Whomever uttered those words were pretty stupid. That is so true, because Chick, we went to the same high school, and we were relatively in the same classes. And so we know how important it is to have some type of advocate, in a leadership role in every stage of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, we had Mr. Moss, if you remember Mr. Moss, Chick, even though he was a science teacher, babe, Mr. Moss was such a fabulous guy. He was fabulous. Mr. Moss. He has since passed on, but Chick and I actually, he was a Kappa, and he actually he deemed us junior sweethearts, because when they would have Kappa events in Gary, we would actually work for him at the table for those events while we were in high school, and we made a little change. So, he was an exciting person, and he was the person when we had it was the Miss Word pageant, but at the time it was called Miss Chic. He was the one I didn't want to get in the pageant, but he was the one who kept pushing and pushing for me to enter into that pageant, and subsequently, I ended up winning. And so, but you, like I said, you need people that will push you and encourage you. Mm-hmm. So Rashad carries a wallet, but only cash, credit cards, and ID.
My man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Back to
every woman is extra.
that last statement, Chicka type there. That's why you have to be confident in yourself and follow your own dreams. People will lead you astray. Some people do it intentionally, and some people do it, non-intentionally without really knowing it, right? Mm-hmm. You got to be strong in you got to be connected to what you want to accomplish, man. Because people, these people that are close to us, we value them. We value what they tell us, right? So we got to be careful. Sometimes they don't mean it, but a lot of times they do. So right. I like that last sentence. You got to be confident in yourself and follow your own dang on dreams, man.
So she responded. She always starts off with an organized purse, but end up just throwing stuff in there and digging around. that is the reason, that right there is the reason why I started having pouches in a purse. Because it keeps me saner than I would normally be. And it also keeps your purse from having like holes and stuff like that in it, because you ain't digging all over the place. Good morning, good morning. I think that's Pat.
Good morning, Pat.
So
Pat.
we have two that have responded, and somebody said that I was doing too much.
So
I
I,
was doing the
but
most.
hey, I'm a guy. What do I know? I don't, I don't have to carry all that.
And that's fine.
you know, well, we can take that to another level, right? Some guys are carrying purses. That's a whole another conversation.
Well, they're carrying, crossbodies and, all different kinds of stuff. I know a lot of, I know guys that carry like messenger bags. And, when it comes to carrying, oh, Yolanda said that. When it comes to carrying like your laptops and stuff like that, we walk around with backpacks, and our stuff is just goes in the backpack. I remember when you used to walk around with a briefcase, babe. That gets
Mhm.
to be a briefcase is kind of cumbersome,
Yeah.
So I've carried a lot of different things, but the backpack seems to work the best for me, believe it or not, when it comes to carrying, files and like my laptop and tablets and stuff like that.
And to I'm that chick's last sentence in that comment is sticking with me. Follow your own dreams. That's right. You got to be confident. Follow your own dreams. And so in me looking at how I'm going to design my business, you remember the day I went virtual, right? I got
Mm-hmm.
fed up. Should I tell that story?
Yes, tell
But
it.
living in Atlanta, hot Atlanta, the ATL, um, and I was building out my insurance agency, and I had an agent. Well, first of
Mm-hmm.
all, living in Atlanta, people say meet me here, and I had office space in the city, and they would never show up. It'd be a hit or miss. So I had this agent. There's certain things I'm just never going to forget, and I'm already pissed off because you drive around. We lived in Noonan, so you drive into the city 20 to 30 minutes, depends on where I'm going, right? So there's that time, that expense of gas, whatever. And I had this agent, right? I'm going on this case with him, and I didn't know the complete background of the client. And I meet him at the client's house, which I never like doing. Uh, and we get to the door, and this young lady opens up the door bucket naked. So me, right? I take 2 steps back. This brother takes 2 steps forward. Like, oh, come on, let's go. I go, nah, man, I'm not going in. Uh, Come to find out, she was a dancer, and I always said that was be a good market because of how they get paid and everything, and they need financial services. And Janet, what would you always say when I would say that? Anyway, moving on. So he proceeds to going in. I get in my car, pissed off. I call Janet right away. I said, "You won't believe what just happened," right? And that was it for me. I said, "You know what? I'm coming back home. I'm done for the day." And I started to set out to design the type of business I wanted. So I went virtual in insurance and finance before virtual was cool. I contacted my insurance carriers. Hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I know you guys don't have like what's so popular now is an e-app. So if you could just create for me a fillable PDF, right? And they would do it for the applications. So I would get on. It was GoToWebinar. Y'all think Zoom is the ish. GoToWebinar was before Zoom, and I would schedule my meetings. And guess what? My clients loved it. They loved it. And I started designing my business from a virtual point there. And I had so many people telling me it's not going to work, blah blah blah. You need to be out in front of the people. I didn't listen. So that last sentence that Chick said is sticking with me. I'm probably going to think
Mm-hmm.
of a couple other stories that will relate to that. You're getting some comments about the bags now. Let me see. Who was this? They call them man bag. A
Yeah.
nurse.
Yeah, they are called man bags. And a lot of what they call metros, they wear the man bags. And I wonder, like, what are you guys putting in these man bags? Or they wear the hip bag, whatever is, I can't think of the name of it right now, but they wear it across they wear, the trend is wearing it across your chest. I just wonder what you have in there.
Now, in defense of the man bag, the merce, if you're traveling, especially overseas, um, it becomes kind of handy, right? Because then it's the pouch is in front of you. So, in normally places you're going touristy, there's a lot of people, and it kind of prevents pickpocketing, whatever. But for me, as far as carrying that around, so for me, I would be thinking, okay, I got this thing over my shoulder. I mean, I don't need all that, man. That's too much. It's too much stress.
Right. And I'm with Chick. I love big purses as well. I love a big bag. And like I said earlier, I made myself a purse organizer for my big bag. So again, because um I used to carry everything. If I have a big purse, everything but the kitchen sink is going to usually be in that purse. I'm going to have enough room to throw my cup in there. I'm going to have enough room to put my Bible or my tablet in there. It's like that kind of thing. And then I have pouches for like my purse or for my cell phone. I know exactly where, it has its own home, for my ink pens, my notebook, all of that kind of stuff. When I carry a big person, like especially when I was going to church, regularly, that really came in handy. My big tote bag and having it organized the way.
No,
Absolutely not.
I don't have a merce. This is what I
No,
have.
no, Sam isn't that guy.
And
Sam
you can
isn't that
see,
guy.
guys, one of the things also when you're talking about money and savings, Janet have to throw some stuff away. I'm getting my money's worth out of stuff, man. First of all, I like to buy quality. I've had this for, my God, how long? 3 years,
Oh,
4 years,
babe, you've
right?
had that longer than that.
And it is now the corners are starting to get some little holes, so it's time for a new one, right? So no, I don't have a purse, man bag, any of that.
We actually, even though I have a lot of stuff, we use stuff until the breaks, till it falls apart, right? I do. And I know that Sam does too. I'll use something till it falls apart. I keeps my stuff, you know. So until I can't till I can't keep it no more. You have to find things to add to a big purse. I don't.
No, you don't.
I don't. So, in addition to that, like I said, when I was going to church more regularly, I made I made these lap scarves. And so everything would go in my purse because I didn't want to be carrying a lot of stuff in my hands all the time. So I had a lap scarf that would go over, of course, my lap, so that, if I didn't sit the right way, none of the family, jewels would be showing. And I wouldn't be,
Probably should have said family jewels.
oh, you got the family jewels, my bad. But you know what I'm saying. I'm a lady, and so things have to be covered up, especially when you're in church. So I made these ladies lap scarves. And if you go on my Style with Taste Facebook page, then you'll see, some of them. Okay. So I make these things for myself, and then everybody else wants one because you can use them. But in any case, that will go in my purse as well. So I didn't have to look for things. I knew what was going to go. If I was using that bag, I knew exactly what was going to go in that bag.
Mm-hmm.
I like my late mother. She had the biggest bags, and you could probably find anything in there literally. Well, I probably took a lot of that from my grandmother. What are they carrying in those man bags? I'm so serious because
A
you
gun.
know your keys. What else do men carry? Your phone, your keys, your phone, and your wallet.
A gun.
Well, if you're carrying a gun, you probably have it in a holster.
Well, you can have a concealed carry permit as well. Well,
Well,
concealed
most
carry, open
men,
carry.
you know, I don't know any men that's going to put their gun in a purse.
Yes,
Women put their guns in a purse, not
yes.
men.
Let me say this one thing to that: the man who's not trying to show that they have a gun. So therefore, not all guys want to wear it on their hip, but they want to have it in their on their person.
So to this person that says didn't want them old ladies to get you, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well, the old ladies were my aunts.
Yeah, you don't want them on you, boy. Ooh.
They were my aunts because
Well,
I,
here you go. Here's the answer to what's in there. Some same thing. Lotion. Oh, wait a minute. I hope
lipstick.
that's not a guy. Come on, man. Y'all let me down here. Please tell me that's not a guy. Same thing. Lotion, lipstick.
Y'all need to stop.
Hey, let me segue from that. I posted, guys, the link. Kind of proud of myself. I've been wanting to create my own private community for clients. So as you can see, I haven't been doing a whole lot of uh, promoting on Facebook, taking everything kind of private. So there's my link, guys, for my Patreon. I'm excited about that. Go ahead and follow me. Right now, it's a soft launch. The actual launch date is the first of next month. What's going to be happening at Patreon is I'm taking my clients by the hand, literally, and creating cash flow streams for them, right? Uh, it's going to be multiple things that they can tap into. You can do all of them. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. But it's going to be really, really cool. I already got some clients involved with it. So go in and check that out if you don't mind. And then give me some feedback on it, if you will. There's not a lot of content there because it just went live on Saturday. So this week I'll be adding more content that you can see without having to join. You can always follow me on Patreon without joining. And as the days are coming up, I'll be talking more about that for you guys. So there's my shameless self-promotion this morning. Let's move on. I had to stop watching P-Valley.
Well, that's like a different. That's kind of different.
That's what I was saying when I was saying that men wear purses, not merces, purses. Those are the guys I was talking about, but Chick said it better than I did. Yeah, P Valley got a little too uncomfortable for me to watch. Yeah. So let's move on. It is 9:15. Let's talk about this thing, man. About Ivanka Trump's burial. Have you guys heard about that? Ivanka Trump, the first wife of y'all's ex-president Donald J. Trump.
Yeah,
That's real interesting. I didn't know it until Janet brought it up this morning. Or was it
yeah.
yesterday?
It was this morning.
So man, I'm not a Trump fan, but I gotta give him some GOAT status. I gotta give him some GOAT status for this one. And it's all what I always say about Trump. You can like him, you can dislike him, you can hate him, you can love him. But as far as his team of tax people, they are Johnny on the spot. So go ahead, babe.
So Trump apparently buried his ex-wife, his first ex-wife,
Who knew?
Ivanka Trump, the mother of his three older children, at his golf course in New Jersey. Okay? He buried her there because of the tax benefits. So what we found out is that you don't have to pay like no inheritance tax, state tax, if it's deemed a cemetery. Because he buried her at the golf course.
Let me bring this as you're talking so people can know that we're not making this up and we're getting the actual tax information from a reliable source. So
Mhm.
go ahead. My apologies.
So once you bury somebody, and this is in New Jersey, you bury them on the property, it becomes you get a whole, it becomes like a cemetery. And for him, it has a whole lot litany of tax breaks. So under the law in New Jersey, land being used for cemetery purpose is exempt from real estate and personal property taxes. as well as sales tax, inheritance tax, business tax, and income tax.
No tax, guys.
No tax. Okay. And the cemetery property is also exempt from sale for collection of judgments. What is it's like with the cemetery trust funds and trust income, exempt from both tax and sale of seizure for collection against judgments, from the company. They can't touch that golf course because he has essentially created a cemetery. And in addition to all of that, there is no cap on how many bodies can be buried there. So he buried Ivanka Trump there, but he doesn't have to bury anybody else on that property for it to be considered a cemetery and for him to be able to get these tax benefits.
Hey, love him or hate him, man. You can't. His tax team is undeniably the truth. Okay, the quintessential truth. And I tried to tell people when they were going out there, there's other reasons the guy didn't want the public to see his tax returns. It wasn't completely that he was dodging taxes. It was show business relationships he had with a particular country. Okay, I don't want to get kicked off Facebook, so I'm gonna say it like that. It wasn't so much of him dodging taxes, because his team comes in and finds this kind of stuff. Look, guys, this is the actual document stating from New Jersey, right?
Right.
Right here.
Right.
This is a simple summary of it, right? This is the document. So you're going to see people in the news talking about he's cheating and all that. His team isn't doing a whole lot of cheating, guys. I've looked at some other stuff, that he's done, and we think, he's avoiding taxes. No, they're playing by the IRS rules. Here's a simple way to look at how you can play by the IRS rules. I bet you, if we got 10 people listening today, Janet, I bet you only one or two, maybe one or two is doing this. The IRS, when you look at your W-4, okay, so we know people go, oh, that's Trump, Sam G. Janet G, that's Trump. I don't got Trump money. I ain't got Trump tax team. Okay, scratch that. I'm gonna break it down for people like us, especially W-2 people. If you look at your W-4, the IRS basically says 80% of y'all are completing that form out incorrectly. See, that the process we have fallen into of overpaying in taxes and happy to get a refund on your money that the government got to use for a whole year with not paying you any interest is crazy. It's crazy. So the IRS says 80% of people are filling that form out incorrectly. What they're saying is fill it out correctly and pay your fair share of tax. If there's not a time ever in history where people need more money coming into their households, it's now.
Right.
You can
ways.
You can update that W-4 at any time, multiple times throughout the year, right? There's a whole strategy on how to fill that thing out correctly. Get out of the mindset of, oh, I'm getting this big refund. When I hear that from people, I go, let me show you a thing or two here. We can calculate how much that refund is going to be. We can calculate how much that would have been coming back into your household. Now, you see why you could have afford to do some money into some type of investment or whatever that was giving you a rate of return. So that's an example of that for the average person. Because people always like to say, I ain't got Trump money. I don't have Bill Gates money. Okay, of course you don't. I don't either.
Right.
But there are things you can do to make the tax code benefit you as well, wherever you are on the financial ladder.
Exactly. And I am not, I'm not a fan of, of the ex-president either. But you have to admit that he uses things to his complete advantage. Whether we think that it's ethically sound or not, it's legally correct. Especially when it comes to this. We just saw we just pulled up the New Jersey code and what it says how that's stipulated. You can easily go and review that for yourself. And I think that we should all review it for whatever states, that we're in or have property in. And I remember saying, when you used to try to tell that to people, before, a simple way of increasing income into your home is just changing your W-2. And
Mhm.
so, but what people were running into,
W4.
your W-4, I'm sorry, what people were running into was that they would go to their company XYZ and tell them, I need to make some adjustments to my W-4. And these people were telling them no. Now, how are you, company X, Y, and Z? Because they didn't feel that you should be making more, you should be bringing home more money, because they were ignorant to
Right.
what was actually going on. They're not increasing your salary. You're still making, if you're making $15 an hour, you're making $15 an hour. What you're trying to bring home is more than what, the $800 a month that they that you actually were bringing home once they took out all the taxes and everything. You're just trying to bring home, put more money into your own household than what's being taken out. And companies, and again, it's that whole Karen thing, because you have that one person that think that they know, that think that got assigned to be an HR with no real HR background. That's what that is, right? So this is a way of, if you have some type of property, you then you understand how a lot of churches have cemeteries right on their properties, and stuff like this. But I thought that, even though I thought it was crazy because of my moral, compass, I thought that was crazy. And why would he? But hey, clearly his family, his children, nobody had a problem with it, because he buried her, and he buried her on his property, on his golf course in New Jersey.
So I dropped that link in there as a reference. Especially with something like this, I want to give that reference out, Janet, so no one thinks we're making something up. Uh, I'm not sure about this one. This is particular a New Jersey law, so I'm not sure what they're saying about Obama put that tax credit law in place. This is, and as you can
Yeah,
see on that
this is
form,
a state.
the state
Yeah,
is AN. Where is it at? I just had it.
yeah, you just put it up. This is a state thing, guys. We can't blame President Obama for everything. This is state, not federal.
And if you
Which is
wanna,
why I said, look at your review those tax laws in your state.
I'm gonna drop this in, so in case someone wants to go and look at it themselves, I want to be very cognizant of the fact that people kind of, you know, like to do their own checks and balances. There it is, ANJ22. This is particular to the state of New Jersey, right? And
Hmm.
based on what happened, what he did there, he's actually putting some layers on that property. I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, ANJ22, cemeteries, funerals, and New Jersey taxes. There you go. Bada
Right,
bing,
that's
bada
the
boom.
state thing.
Forget
You
about
know, I was wondering about it, because I'm like, doesn't he live in Florida? I don't think he didn't bury her in Florida. But when I did the research, he has property in New Jersey,
it.
and that's what he did.
I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, what y'all think?
Well, we see what Chick thinks.
Say it with your chest.
In all actuality, Chick, he and his first wife were extremely close, according to an interview that she did. And I'm trying to remember who she did this interview with, but they were extremely close. And, she had encouraged him. She was one of the main people who encouraged him to run for office when he did. So I think that whatever her inks was with him, she was no longer married to him. She hadn't been married to him for decades,
Hmm.
and they were okay. right?
Okay. What else we got on tap for today?
Well, we were talking about that. So let's do a little recap. We talked about, we did share what the how far $100,000 salary would go in the state of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
How much taxes, I should have said, that you pay on $100,000. We did talk about how much taxes, people that are in New York City, based off of $1 million, how much taxes that they paid. And we also talked about what people are putting, what ladies are carrying in their purses, how they're organizing. We've talked about, basically, not allowing people to discourage you from your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about how Donald Trump manipulated the tax law in New Jersey to benefit him. Well, let's talk about, I don't know how we even got on this subject the other day, but when it comes to our major organs, I'm a firm believer, guys, that everything that's in my body, God created this body and he put all of these things in this body. So if he put it in there, then I need it, right? So, we were just talking about how every time you turn around, you hearing stories of the doctors just taking out somebody's spleen. Oh, you don't need that. We're just gonna take that out. Okay. Or their gallbladder. You don't need that. We're just gonna take that out. And I remember when Sam, when you were sick and in the hospital, and they told me, like, first they said they had you on dialysis. They had you on like a 72-hour round of dialysis. And then they said that they needed to take your gallbladder out, and they said you had some kidney stones. But once all of that was cleared, your body just started functioning on its own. You still have all your parts. You have your kidneys, you have your gallbladder, you have everything. Nothing was ever taken out.
Right, right.
So I was just sitting here thinking, the gallbladder has to have a function. And wouldn't you know, I'm on TikTok and somebody is they was just talking about the gallbladder. And they said how many times they've talked to people who have had their gallbladder removed and have asked the question, well, did they tell you that you needed, any type of supplements or anything like that to replace, the function of your gallbladder? But you see, we're told that our gallbladder we don't really need the gallbladder. And so if you're saying you don't need the gallbladder, nobody is telling you that, oh, by the way, we're going to take this out, but you need some type of replacement, quote unquote, therapy for the function of your gallbladder. And to me, in my mind, it's the same thing as when they take out, sometimes we women, we have to take out parts for whatever reason, but there has to be something to replace the function of that, because other things will start happening if you don't. So I Googled the function of the gallbladder, right? And the gallbladder stores and concentrates bile. Y'all know what bile is, from the liver. It's then released into the first section of the small intestines, where it helps your body to break down and absorbs fats from food.
Breaks down what?
It breaks down and absorbs fats from foods. So
I got something to
your
say about
gallbladder
that
is
part.
needed. So what do you have to say, babe?
It also highlights the fact that your body needs fat, good fats. So that's the whole premise about the keto thing that people don't realize, right? Especially if you're eating a high processed carb diet, you're not getting one of the most important nutrients your body needs, which is good fats. See,
So,
we've been told a lie for a long time. Fat is
mhm.
bad. Fat is bad. Eat carbs. Eat grains. Eat cereals.
So there are relatively four functions. Well, there are more than four, but I'm gonna just highlight the main four. Store and concentrate bile,
Okay.
to respond to intestinal hormones to empty and refill its bile stores,
Okay.
to concentrate, to regulate the composition of bile, the percentage of water, bile salts, and other things that consist of your bile. And it controls the flow of the bile to the small intestines. So if you take out your gallbladder, then you need some type of supplement to help replace those functions. Okay. Just like with women, if we have partial or whole hysterectomies, that it takes us immediately into early menopause, right? And there's a litany of things that happen to our bodies as we go through menopause. And so we need some type of supplement. Like I need some supplements right now, because menopause causes your estrogen levels to decrease. And so you need to have the estrogen. We need to have the estrogen put back into our bodies, because lower estrogen causes joint pain and situations in women. Okay. So you have to know what's going on with your particular body and to how to help that. I have a couple of relatives that gave kidneys to other people, right? They say, "Oh, you only need one kidney. You only need one kidney." And God knows that if my children or somebody that I loved really needed the kidney, and I actually was a match, because they go through all kinds of things. If I was a match, I would probably have myself on an operating table giving my kidney. But what I'm saying is that my relatives that gave the kidneys, these people that were healthy, they gave the kidneys, they were actually in the hospital longer than the person who received the kidney.
Wow.
Right. And they had a whole litany of things that their bodies went through. So it's like it's what I'm giving you is some awareness, just awareness. And again, in my mind, you have to ask a lot of questions. So when they said that, about Sam, my first question is, why would you be taking out his gallbladder? There's nothing, he has never had any of these health issues, period, that would require, you having to take anything out, but thankfully, Sam recovered, and he recovered quickly, as far as his organ functions were concerned. Girl, let me tell you something. You may not, but what I am noticing for my own body is that all of the aches and pains that I'm having, and just my joints. And so I was reading up on that, and I don't take any supplements, and I realized that I need to find the balance of the supplements. I need to increase my estrogen levels, so that, because I thought that I was having early onset of arthritis, but it may not be arthritis. It could be as simple as me needing supplements for what's going on in my own body. So,
And do your research on supplements, because they're not all what they're
right.
sold as or purported to be.
And also do your research on, if you're taking medications. This is why I'm not a proponent of, while we're working so hard to be our own healthy, to be the healthiest we can be, because I don't want to be on any medications. If they tell you that a medication, I remember when my mom was 77 years old. Never had she ever in her entire life had any thyroid issues at all. Now, all of a sudden, her doctor is telling her she wants to send her to a specialist, a thyroid specialist, because she feels that, there's something going on with my mom's thyroid. And at the time that she wanted this, my mom was getting to a place, that progression of a place where it was really difficult for her to be mobile. right? It was painful, and it was just a lot. But I got her in a wheelchair, got her to the doctor's office, and the doctor, he was a wonderful man, wonderful physician. You know, he ran a couple of tests and he said he didn't see what her doctor said. He did not see that. He did a preliminary thing, but then he wanted to give her an MRI. And I'm like, listen, she will not be able to do an MRI because she can't get up on the table. Okay. She couldn't stand up on her own. There was no way she was going to be able to maneuver getting on the table. Not only that, she was at a place where she couldn't extend her legs completely, so that would have been too much of a challenge, right? For you to say that, after you check her and you saying that, you don't see anything, but you want to give her an MRI, that's just too much. And so I was just, again, I say all of that to say you need to ask the questions, ask a lot of questions. And if things don't make sense, it is their responsibility to make it make sense to you. It's not your job to just roll over and say, because the doctor said X, Y, and Z. And we did not put her on any thyroid medications, or any of those other things that her primary doctor wanted to charge Medicare for.
Absolutely, Rashad. When you look at, they never say, "Oh, we're going to put you on this particular drug for X amount of time."
Right.
No, what you hear is, "You're going to put you on this drug. Then, if you come in for some issues, right? I'm having these issues with this drug. Um, then, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna take you off that one and put you on this one. In other words, to keep you on in that cycle of medication. Guys, do whatever you can to not get on any meds, because once you're on the meds, I hate to say it like this, but they pretty much got you.
There's somebody who's prescribing what they're like doing some type of weight loss thing, right? But the drugs that they're prescribing for the weight loss,
It's not even for weight loss.
it's not for weight loss, it's for other things. So when it comes to insurance, okay, this is a lot of the reason why you have to be so careful about what you allow them to subscribe. Okay, because when it's time for you to have insurance, and they do their own due diligence and background of your medications, because all of that is you just pull up a site, right? And you can easily find the medications that you're taking and what they're primarily for. Okay, what they're primarily for. Then they're dinging you for what the medication is primarily for, even though that's not the reason that you're taking the medication. You understand what I'm saying? It's like when you see those commercials, about whatever, XYZ medication is, and then it says it can cause, this, and this, and this, right? Then you need to watch out for that, because it might cause your eyeball to fall out, you know, or anything else. You need to know what the primary function of the medication is for. And if the primary function isn't for your particular ailment, I would say prescribe something else. Prescribe something else that's in line. It's like with my mom again, when we found out what was going on with her as far as why she was falling. She had three options, and the last option was putting her on some different type of medication that was not going to help her situation. It wasn't going to stop her from falling. But what it was going to do is it would end up attacking her major organs. There was nothing wrong with her organs. But if she would have taken this medication, all of a sudden she would have had problems with the kidney because the medication was too strong. It would have created more issues. So just be cognizant and mindful of what you're putting into your body. It's the same thing with food.
And if
So
you're currently in the market for some life insurance and that agent that's helping you And if you're on, I would say any medication, but definitely if you're on some major meds, have they tell the insurance, and it's going to be crazy that you got to tell an insurance agent to do this, but have them do something called writing a cover letter. It's not that they got to go into a Word doc and write a whole letter. It's a section on every application process, because all apps now are e-apps, where the agent can do a report and he can explain, hey, this is why this client is taking this medicine. We know it's prescribed for this primarily, but this is why her doctor has it on it. That'll get you approved. Not only will it get you approved, that one simple thing, but it'll get you approved without any ratings, which means you'll be paying more for the cost of insurance.
Right. Right. So yeah, I see Rhonda said that how did you destroy your how was your thyroid destroyed in 2020? You want to
I
tell us
think
a little bit about that?
she meant, I don't know, she
No,
said,
that was chick. I
yeah,
had my
I don't know if
thyroid
she was
checked.
trying meant to say destroyed.
Oh, or diagnosed.
Maybe taken out.
No, she still has her thyroid. I know she's on
Oh,
thyroid medications.
she had, oh, okay then. I didn't know that. So maybe she's was used the right word, destroyed. That's interesting. I'd like to know that as well before we shut down. How was it
Hmm.
destroyed?
Yeah. How
If
was it?
you want to share, if it's personal, we
Right.
understand.
Right. But yeah, something like that. I knew a lady when I was in working for the school system in Indiana who, she had a ton of thyroid issues. So I don't really know a whole lot about the thyroid, right? Um, but I know that my mom's primary doctor was trying to I have to wonder if she was getting some type of kickbacks, because
I'm
there
not
was
even going to go.
always
I'm not even
something.
going to get into that. We're getting ready to shut down. So,
Yeah.
I got some background on that as far as doctors and prescribing medications and things. And it's a whole industry. I will say that much.
Well, yeah, yeah. I would have to agree with you.
It's a whole industry. And we know that from the fact of, how can I, well, I'm just going to say where my parents are from. When we were going to the doctor's appointments with them, all those people had these bags full of medicines, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 meds. So we'll leave that for another coffee chat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it
Okay,
seems
there
to
you go.
target the elderly. It seems,
Radioactively destroyed. Interesting.
hmm.
That sounds a little painful.
Yeah, you and I are gonna have to oh wow, it's gone. You and I, we need to delve a little bit deeper into that because I had no idea
About what?
that she about her thyroid. I
Oh,
just found out that she was taking thyroid medications the other day when we were talking, but I didn't know anything about,
see,
you know,
and now knowing that about her, my big brother instinct is kicking in.
mm-hmm.
Tell her to stop doing something that she loves to do. Am I older than? No, I'm not. Well, I'm her big little brother. I put it that way.
Yeah, she and I are the same age. We are, as a matter of fact, I got her beat by what, 5 months? Yeah.
She ain't gonna listen though.
Nope,
Y'all,
she ain't
y'all
gonna.
hard headed.
Who is y'all? Who
Y'all,
is y'all? Who is
y'all,
y'all?
all y'all,
Mm, mm,
you
mm.
all.
So yeah, those were some of the things that we wanted to talk about. We talked about, how your money, in different states, how much taxes you pay off your money, in different states, the percentage, the tax percentage. And in New York City, not New York State, but in New York City, $1 million of gross income only actually nets you around 500 after you pay about 46% in taxes for
I
New
know,
York
but
City.
if I mean, I get the point. There's a lot in taxes. It's, we know it's expensive living in New York, but hey, if I'm knocking down 500 net, I can live in New York with that. I'll be doing some
New
things to
York
lower
is
my tax
expensive.
burden.
Well, this is why people, are moving to states like, Texas or Florida,
I told you,
and stuff
Texas,
like this.
man.
This girl.
Texas. I'm gonna get me a merce, right? Wait till we take this trip to Dubai.
You ain't gonna get immersed. You're
I'm
gonna
gonna have
be
to.
like,
I know
babe, hold this for
when
me.
we go to Dubai, all you're gonna see me in pictures wearing is that my chic outfit.
I can see that.
Right,
I can see that.
darling,
With that
beware.
little thing on your head, you're gonna
Yeah,
be all wrapped up.
yeah, the whole
All
trip.
wrapped up. You know, Rashad only takes sinus and allergy meds because I have to. You know, I'm with you, Rashad. I only take sinus and allergy meds as well. And when my headaches kick in, you know, I have to take something, you know, for those, because I used to suffer with migraines a lot. And so the last thing I want is for something that will turn into, you know, a migraine. But we don't take a lot of medication.
I
We
don't like
don't take
taking nothing.
prescriptions. We don't take prescriptions drugs over here. And I'm so thankful. And again, this is why me personally, why I have to, you know, I've had to be able to change my intake of what I put in my body, you know, my food. I had to change the way I eat because, you know, I'm a Campbell, and
No,
you know, when I look at food, I gain weight the older I get. So I have to do some healthier things. You know, I like rice, but you know, rice ain't good for me. Heavy carbs are simply not, they're not good for me. So if I want to stay off medications, then I need to do things that's going to allow me to live, you know, to live the life I want to live. You know, and that's just that. And I'm not heavy on drinking. I never have been. So, you know, I don't really have to give that up because I have a 2 drink maximum, you know, and that just is what it is. It's just been that way my whole life until this whole thyroid issue. I know it's making my heart race out of control. So,
see, once we get on one medication, they're gonna put you on some more.
you know, and that's just the danger. You know, that's just, and that's incredibly scary. And it's, you know, I really want to know how you ended up uh you know, you ended up having to be at that particular place. And we'll talk about that offline, you know. But anything that we can do, you know, with us as we get older into the age group that we're in now, most of us, you know, when we're younger, we abuse our bodies. You know, we do all kinds of things, right? We go on our drinking binges, we party like a rock star, we go straight, you know, we get home at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, shower and go to the next job, to whatever our job is, and we function. We eat what we want to eat, all of these kinds of things. But then when we get around our age, when we're getting to the place where we're closer to 60, you know, all of those things already start catching up to us.
It
And
happens
then,
before 60.
you think so?
Yeah, you just
Well,
don't.
yeah.
We recognize, and when we do see those little small thing warning signs, we ignore it. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
most people still want to have a good time, uh,
Yeah.
but it starts before 60.
But once we, you know, once these things start happening, it only takes one thing to happen, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're not, then it becomes like, it can become like a snowball effect. So I'm really hoping that, you know, you can get a handle on it and really not be on anything other than what you're on. You know what I'm saying? That just, you know, that's just crazy.
Someone asked about this T-shirt. Yeah, this is Style with Taste created this for me. Why? Because I'm a savage, baby. So yeah, this is you didn't shout out your business at all today. So Style with Taste Creations.
Well, I did. I told them that I'm in the process of making these to go into a shop.
That's
And
for
I made
women.
this one for myself like 6 years ago.
That's for
It's
women.
a
Unless these guys walk around with these merces, have one of those in there as well. Is there such a thing as a male version of that?
Men don't carry compact mirrors.
No, no. Again, certain men might.
But yeah, if they go on my I make a lot of, I make, what I love to make for women is anything that sparkles. Anything that sparkles and shines, me and my girls, because you're not a girl if you don't like sparkle and shine. And for my guys, you know, I make those t-shirts. Sit back, go back a little bit, babe, because you can't really see the whole go back.
Back?
Not forwards.
Which, huh?
See?
This one? Can they
You
see?
see? You see?
Oh,
You
this way.
see? You see? There you go. So, you know, I love to get creative. And of course, I have my own little muse, you know, with guys. Uh, it don't have to be just, you know, just straight words. We can do all kinds of things with the idea, you know, and that's just one of them. You know, he tells me what he wants and I just create.
The
I
only
just do.
problem I have is that I'm always last on the list. I put in my order 2 weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
My paying customers always come
Still
first.
waiting. I am your financier.
Yeah. But you
I'm,
know,
I
you
am.
get it all.
I'm a priority shareholder.
You get it all. You get it. You have more things than I have.
Well. Oh, look at the time.
Look, a puppy.
At the time.
Yes,
Okay, I
indeed.
guess we got a couple of minutes, guys. If you guys want to, shout out somebody, shout out us. Any last comments, questions, concerns? So
You
we
know,
don't
again,
go.
we
We
just
don't
want
go
to
into
wish.
the. We don't want to go into the next hour. We got
Right.
stuff to do. So,
We want to wish Rashad and Chickawicka, you know, their happy
happy
birthdays.
birthday! Happy
I think they're
birthday!
still celebrating for every shirt that Sam has. Thank you, Rashad.
Happy birthday!
You know, one of the things that I love is like my little brother, you know, my little big brother. He definitely he'll call me up and you know I want I wanted to say whatever. I want this. And then he just gives me complete creative freedom. He might give me a color, but he gives me complete creative freedom. And I will do a mock up for one thing for him. I'll do it, you know, I want a cancer shirt since I want a shirt that says cancer. Okay. Well, I create the word, you know, his sign in cancer, but I might give him 3 or 4 different looks for him to choose from, for him to pick from. And this thing always picks the whole shebang. Oh, I want all of those. I want all of those. So we're here for it. Absolutely here for it. Your uncle had stomach cancer and he ate spicy foods. So he thought it was because of that. Then he started having heartburn and was eventually went to the doctor and he had stage 4 stomach cancer. We often overlook and think things is due to other things. Know
You
your
know,
body.
Sorry to hear that, Chick. Thanks for sharing, by the way. But this is kind of near and dear to me because there's a solution for this, guys, especially as Black men. You know what the solution is?
Check up.
An annual physical. That's it. Actually, you should be doing 2 a year, but an annual physical. Prevention, prevention, prevent. I mean, proactive, proactive, proactive. So we catch these things early, right? The earlier we catch stuff like this, the better it is for chances of survival. Um, right?
You know, I agree. Y'all don't like to go to the doctor. Y'all really don't. I think a lot of things, you know, could be prevented, you know, but we just really have to, at the end of all things, we have to change our mindsets about things. You know, we really have to change our mindsets about just how we what we put in our body.
Yeah.
It was a little heavy today, huh?
Yeah, you were on one today, man. I just let you roll. You do your thing, Shawty. Do your thing. This boy said he's still partying. He accepts everything from EBT to other gifts. Yes, I said EBT. How do you send EBT?
Right.
Do you cash app? Can you have a EBT through cash?
You can't do that.
I don't know. You might. I don't know. Now my mind is thinking about that. How do you send an EBT to somebody?
The only
Obviously,
way
Rashad knows.
the only way you can send that is through the mail, or give it to them and say, spend this much.
Rashad knows how to send EBT. Look, man, I'm gonna send you a little bit of this EBT over here, man. I got some extra. I got some extra this month.
Thank you. We're glad that y'all are enjoying, the conversations. And if y'all have some topics that you want to talk about, put it in the inbox. People are in Sam's inbox anyway. Just put it in there. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Everybody put a suggestion in except Rhonda and Rashad.
It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke. She high what? I'm high post. Oh, I knew he knew. You can let someone walk in the store with your card and spend the limit you set. Man,
don't be saying that too loud, because the government will shut all that down. They're trying to
never put that out there.
Mm-hmm. So if y'all have any suggestions or some things that you want to talk about, drop us a message, and we'll put that on the list. We have some guests that will be coming up, soon. We're really
we got a lot of guests that can't make it because of time.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I think that this time really works best for you, and it also works pretty well for me too. Because there's so many other things that's going on throughout the day, and as far as your clients being able to contact you, we like doing it this time because it frees them up for the rest of the day, where he has other things to do during that, business things to do, the things that pay the bills.
Oh, you know what? We need to make a bit of an announcement. Virtual happy hour.
Okay.
My calendar. We've been discussing the virtual happy hour scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I put this out there, Janet, but I was thinking about changing it from every Friday. Maybe every other Friday.
Yeah.
Because on Friday when we felt a little bad, we was like, man, we're doing a lot, and there's other stuff we got coming up that we're gonna be doing. So we love that format. So we're gonna do it this Friday. Yeah. Are we doing it this Friday?
Yes, we are doing it this Friday. Right. I can't tell. I hear your mouth talking. Prove it. Oh,
anyway, we're gonna do virtual happy hour this Friday. But going forward, it's gonna be every other Friday, not every Friday.
Yeah, every other Friday.
Nothing on that, man. Your peoples, I tell you.
That's my friend. I got an owner.
Yeah, Rashad, we got to be cognizant of a lot of things we're doing. Don't want to overdo it.
Right. There's a lot going on over here.
And when something happens, take that time. Like we did, we decided to take the time, to rest and recoup. And, I think we started feeling better midday Sunday. And now we woke up this morning, back on track. So.
Most refreshed, yes, because we didn't do anything. We barely even went to the store yesterday. We didn't do and listen, if anybody knows me, my favorite word is getting into my pajamas, right? I was in my pajamas most of the weekend. I love you, girl. I love you a long time. You and me, us never part. I'm sure you did. But you didn't send us no pictures, though. We like pictures. You ain't even sent one picture. And your friend over here, the foodie, he lives off of pictures.
Let me down. Here's this question again. When will the podcast be set up? I am working on the podcast, putting it together. I'll talk with Jay, Janet, and we'll describe. Man, get this girl off the thing, man. let me call her boss. Threw me off with that one. We'll have the launch date coming up, which means when we do the podcast, guys, we're going to be off of doing this on Facebook Live. We'll be streaming the podcast to Facebook Live, but the platform itself is where all that will be, and you can tune in directly to the podcast platform, or you can see the replay, or you can see it live on Facebook. So we'll still be there, but we won't be primarily.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So that's the answer to that question. Now they want to wait till we're trying to get off here to ask all these questions. You see how people, how they do? Man, y'all ain't right.
Yeah. All right, you guys. You guys.
We got that law. Guys, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Oh, yes.
Oh, I just wanted to tell y'all, if anybody is interested in, working for any school system, they're needing teachers all over, and they're also needing bus drivers. So if that's something that you think you might be interested in, you need to apply in your local area, to become a school teacher for public schools. There's a mass exodus happening there, and it's a need that can be fulfilled by maybe you.
The numbers are astronomical. And guys, this didn't start happening last week or last month. It's been, I'm a big trend follower. This started happening 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Just everything is coming to a head where people are just fed up. And, Janet, you made that statement about, might be for you, but there's a lot going on to be a teacher these days. The number one thing for me is the disrespect of the students and the parents. Because I know I'll be the one getting fired. Because the little boy come and get in my face and tell me he's going to beat me and cuss me and pull a gun on me. It's over with. I'm throwing him through the window. Okay.
It's challenging.
I already tell you. I have zero tolerance for disrespect. So that's interesting. I don't think, Janet, here we go again. I don't think they're going to get a lot of people coming into the field for a lot of reasons. I think number one is that, and then you have the unruly kid, and the parent comes in and want to fight the teacher too. And you're right, Dick, because we know they packing, we know they can get guns, we know they won't hesitate to do anything, right? They won't hesitate to do anything these days. So yeah, that opportunity is there, but I would suggest you go to a charter school.
private school.
They can make their own rules, and they're going to support you to teach you more than the public school system would. But it's a huge crisis that's about to unfold because the numbers are coming in across the country, and there's some huge numbers of teachers leaving in the bus driver situation because they carried on the bus. Janet was telling me.
Yeah.
Think about it.
They cut up so much on buses. It's ridiculous.
How the bus driver going to handle that when he's trying to drive safe and then get everybody home or from school?
Those of us who are parents or have been, parents to young kids when we were younger, how unruly your children have been in the backseat of the car. But you're only talking 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 children, that can get unruly. And you just backhand them, right? Sit down. But, we're talking 40, 50 kids on a school bus that's being disrespectful, and the driver is trying to concentrate on, driving, being able to drive and not getting an accident. Because God forbid they get in an accident, and then, the parents want to sue the school and the driver. And, it's just that wonderful gift that keeps on giving in a negative way, right? But I'm just saying that if you are, need a job, you want to be a teacher, there's opportunities out there in education and in bus driving if that's something that you so choose to do. I've done that. It's not for me, and Sam, we did pretty good when we were doing it. Yeah, it's just not something that I know, again, I know me, and I, as you said, these children are disrespectful, and their parents uphold them in their disrespect. So,
and that's the route that's going to have tremendous growth, homeschooling, which for years got talked down on, right? But every client I know that I have that has homeschooled their kids, them kids ain't missing out on nothing. Actually, you look at some of the stats, they're coming out better.
Right. My niece is homeschooling. One of my nieces, Ashley, she's homeschooling, her and her husband, they homeschool their kids. And, there's so much, as we're saying, there's so much going on in the schools with these children, high rates of bullying, children, are committing more suicides in school because of the bullying, or some students are lashing out by, gun violence because of the bullying. There's just a lot of things. So, but like I said, I'm just giving out information, letting people know, I'm sure y'all watch the news like I do. And if it's something that you think that you're interested in, it's an opportunity that is available. A lot of the kids aren't socially awkward. No, I disagree with that statement because, because what I'm watching is these children, they have more opportunities to be social. There's a whole community, right? There's an entire community of homeschool children. These kids, and then if their parents, if they have the kind of parents where you see a lot of this happening as well, their parents are actually selling their homes, living in RVs, teaching their children, as they're traveling. So these kids are more well-rounded than your children that are in public schools, because they're visiting different states. They are getting these hands-on training, going to national parks and all different other kinds of things. So I don't agree with that. I don't think that there's a lot of these kids are socially awkward. I think that in all cases, some are, even kids that go to regular school are socially awkward, which is how we come into the whole bullying aspect to begin with. We had socially awkward kids when we were in school, so, but in order to keep your kids safe, and I guess to teach them, Abeka has an amazing curriculum for, homeschool kids. And that was one of the first platforms that people used over 20 years ago. My cousin Tiffany, who is the principal, she is, when she started for the church, they were using a Abeka program. So, I'm just saying, that's all I have to say.
So now we started a whole nother subject.
Nope, we're stopping. We can pick this up on Wednesday. Yep.
Okay, that's it, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate that y'all don't like us to get off here.
To leave. I know what you're saying, chick.
Yeah, we got you. We got you, little sis.
This is something that we can definitely pick back up on Wednesday. Okay. And I'm gonna make me a note.
Let's do that. You guys have a marvelous Monday, magnificent Monday. Hey, don't let them people get to you on your JOB, man. Okay. Thanks for joining. We're gonna let that play one more time, and we're out of here. See you guys on Wednesday Coffee Chat at 8:30, same time, same place.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.